Good evening to everyone. I'm extremely privileged on behalf of the Board of Internal Audit and Management Accounting to welcome you all, the participants, to this one more webcast knowledge sharing session from our board. On your screens, you can see the vibrant and our very knowledgeable Vice Chairman, rather I can say Chairman Emeritus, CA Charanjot Singh Nanda, who runs this committee by his great knowledge that he possesses on the subject of internal audit, which is a sunrise industry for all of us. We have a very esteemed speaker today, very nice, young, energetic, and my good friend, CA Deepika from Chennai. We also have on our screens CA Ashna, who will be moderating the session today, and our very efficient, energetic, and dedicated secretary, CA Aarti Bansal, CA, no other CA is there. In fact, Arun Agarwal from the committee. Technical support is given by AFAC. I welcome each and every one of you. I welcome our very knowledgeable speaker. I welcome Ashna. I welcome each and every one from the Secretariat. Friends, artificial intelligence. As the name itself suggests, it is intelligence, but artificial. We are the real intelligence. But how artificial intelligence is going to impact us in our day-to-day audit provisions? How artificial intelligence can enhance the quality of our working? And how artificial intelligence can lead us to excellence? On all these areas, CA Deepika is going to enlighten us. In fact, artificial intelligence cannot be avoided. CA Charanjot Singh Nanda is also the chairman of TAB, the committee which deals with everything that is digital in the institute, the committee which breeds digital in the institute. So this particular program is fit because we have the chairman of DAB, who is also the vice chairman of this particular committee. And the title which is for us today for deliberation is apt. So on this occasion, I greet every one of you and I thank our esteemed speaker and also our moderator for sparing their valuable time. And for his opening remarks, I request right away our very dynamic CA Charanjot Singh Nandaji. Nandaji, over to you.
Thanks a lot, my chairman, the GST man, C. Rajendra Kumar, who hails from Chennai, a man of impeccable integrity, track record, and awareness. His love for GST is known to everybody, and the level of indulgence he puts in every committee, including Internal Standard Board, is really commendable. Madam Deepika, as the learned speaker of the day, I know her since so many years now. She has been contributing regularly to the institute and particularly to the Internal Standard Board. The moderator of the day, C. Ashna Kajla, God has been kind, she has been blessed with the baby. She hails from Patiala. The secretary of this committee, C. Aarti Bansal, Arun Agarwal, technical support, AFAC, and more importantly, all who have come here to go home more enlightened. Ladies and gentlemen, artificial intelligence has glamorous propositions. With Chat GPT, people now have different idea about artificial intelligence. But we as chartered accountants need to embrace technology, need to understand technology and use them in our day-to-day course. But the only issue is that we don't want to learn technology and yet advocate to use technology in daily working. There is a very nice couplet which says, तमाम शहरों को बसाकर सुकून के लिए गांव ढूंढते हैं. तमाम शहरों को बसाकर सुकून के लिए गांव ढूंढते हैं. कितने अजीब है ना हम लोग, कुल्हाड़ी हाथ में लेकर छाव ढूंढते हैं. please appreciate. We have to go deep into technology, understand it, and then we can use it for furtherance of our professional opportunities, our professional assignments. Artificial intelligence, to be very shortly defined, is to put at rest four very important things. First, to put at rest monotony, whatever work, similar type of work. Second, to put at rest relationships. Computers don't have wives. They don't have religions, so they want to work every time. Number three, to adhere to an era which is error-free. Any work which is done by artificial intelligence, if things are properly deputed to it, the results will always be correct, true and correct. And the last thing, to adhere to timeliness. When you use computers for your working, you know when the time has to finish. Delhi, there are so many traffic jams. People prefer going by metro. You estimate in a minute or two, you'll be late. Otherwise, you will reach on time. So, ladies and gentlemen, I will not speak much. We have the learner speaker, Deepika from Chennai. Let her explain you how we can use internal audit, how we can enhance the value of internal audit by employing artificial intelligence in our working. It is ultimately an ultimate way of gaining competence, of creating value and worth. So thanks a lot, and over to CA Ajla for further proceedings. Ajla, the dice is all yours. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your wonderful words. Now I would like to introduce today's speaker, CAS Deepika. She has a lot of degrees in her hand. She's a BCom graduate. She's a qualified DISA. She's a chartered accountant. She has done a post-graduation course in business analytics and business intelligence. She's also a certified credit research analyst, and she has also qualified her limited insolvency examination. She has handled assignments involving audit analytics, exception reporting, systems review, process controls, application review, ERP remediation, information technology, general controls, internal financial controls for banks, NBFCs, and manufacturing companies. She has held various positions. She has been a special invitee to the Digital Accounting and Assurance Committee of SIRC of ICAI. She has been a treasurer and board of governor for Institute of Internal Auditors Madras chapter. She has also been the chairperson of Women's Forum of the Institute of Internal Auditors Madras chapter. She has also been an associate director of the Information Technology Risk Advisory practice for CNK and Associate LLP. She has a teaching experience of faculty with SIRC of ICAI for Information Technology Training and Advanced Information Technology Training from 2018. She has been a speaker at various CPE seminars and workshops conducted by IASB and SIRC. She has been a speaker for trainings and workshops at Auditors of Internal Auditors, Bombay Chartered Accountants Society, Institute of Cost and Management Accountants of India, University of Madras. She has been a guest lecturer at various education institutions and colleges in topics of data analytics, research, risk management, blockchain technology, information system and information technology audits, audit automation. She has conducted faculty development programs for various institutions for trending areas in the industry. We welcome you, ma'am, and please enlighten us on today's topic of artificial intelligence in internal audit. Please, ma'am, the dice is over to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ashna. Thank you, Rajendra Kumar sir, Charan Singh Nanda sir, and Aarti Bansal ma'am for giving this opportunity to share my experiences with our fellow members. So today the topic is a very interesting topic. I'm going to share experiences, how we can create some automation in audit, what type of tools we can use, what type of technologies are currently available. So it's more going to be informal discussion. So you can post your questions or queries as and when also. So yes, I hope my screen is visible.
Very much, madam. Please go ahead. Very much.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for confirming, sir. So artificial intelligence and internal audit is the topic for the day. internal audit considerations. First is we need to know what in internal audit we are going to do and how we are going to use technology. So as we always decide, like knowledge of business is the first thing if we want to do audit. Similarly, what is the audit objective is the first thing before we start our audit procedures. Similarly, we are going to take some few key considerations which we need to understand and know if we want to use AI in IA. Okay, so first is what type of data you have, and in that data, what type of analysis you want. Let's say we are having all image data. You are doing some KYC audit and you have photocopies of some PAN cards, Aadhaar cards, application forms, etc. So now we have to adopt a AI-enabled mindset. Okay, we should not say this is a manual work. This is a tremendous task to open and check every document. So if we have that mindset, then we cannot do any automation or any tool deployment in our audit. So now we have to have a mindset where we can look for AI support. Okay, so there's something called reinventing the wheel. That is, now for doing any of the internal audit function, we need not create a AI tool. Okay, already tools, techniques, everything are available. We are only going to adopt it, okay, use it in a safe manner where there is no breach of data, no breach of data security, and no breach of client confidentiality. So these are some precautions also we need to have. Then we need to embrace our technology. Then we go implement it and ensure the loop of AI is followed and we are not missing any. That is, whenever we are going for a new technology or a new audit methodology, there is something called as false positives, which we need to be aware of. That is, it will come as a negative. Like when you run an exception report, it will come as an observation, but it may not be a real observation. There could be some missing parameter or some other business condition because of which it is happening or that is coming in your exception report. So those things we have to remove. False positives we need to remove. Only true positives should be there. So we need to ensure the precautionary measures are also taken. So making AI work in IA. So I'll not say directly AI is there in IA or AI tools are there for IA. There's nothing like that. It's like we have to look for innovative ways where we can use existing technology which is available in internal audit procedures. Okay, so we are going to make AI work in IA. So this is the first mindset or the first principle that we need to be aware of. Next is machine is only as smart as its master. Okay, so we would have learned data, garbage in, garbage out. So what we put in, that only machine is going to give output. Now let's say you are commenting. You would have learned or heard a lot of comments. Chat GPT is giving wrong results. Okay. Chat GPT is incapable of giving certain results. That is different. That Chat GPT itself will say that I am not able to process this. I don't have the capability to do this. That is different. But Chat GPT is giving wrong answer means the input we have given to Chat GPT is not accurate or sufficient enough to give correct output. Okay. So if we give correct prompts, there is more chance that we will be getting correct output. Okay. Same thing for audit procedure also, audit techniques also, audit methodology also. Okay. So now whatever you feed in, based on that only you are going to get output. Now, since we are an auditor, we should not only know what we are feeding in and what is the output, we should also know what is considered in the process of evaluation and getting that output. We are not doing black box testing here. Something is going in, something is coming out. Not like that. We have to know what process that system is doing and then use it. Okay. So now I'll come to a crucial definition. What is AI? Is AI only predictive algorithms and what all. We are having loan default models, early warning systems. They are telling from the wearables, like you are having your fitness bands, etc. You are able to predict an heart attack. You are able to predict diabetes. You are able to predict health conditions. Okay, so only these are AI, is it? That is, only if the machine is able to think and give a output like a human, only that AI. No, that is a misconception. Okay, AI is a overarching word. Okay, anything a machine is capable of doing is artificial intelligence. So let's say we are talking about robots. So initially robots were used in manufacturing plants, like car manufacturing plant, or any process lane, or like whichever is having production line, they're used to have bots, which is placing these packets, or packing something, fixing something, screwing something, etc. So only are those robots, or is having some physical form and dressed like a human coming and talking to you, is that only robot? Or is Alexa also a robot? Or we are talking about bots, RPA, right? Robotic process automation. They are telling software bots. So the small computer program which is able to, or which is capable of doing certain tasks in a sequence which was earlier done by a human, then that also we are calling a bot. Okay, now if bot means AI, okay, all the 4 examples I mentioned is AI only. Okay, so let's say our watch, without us doing something, there is some instrument. In that instrument, if you are, some are solar powered, some have battery, some are auto tuned, there is some technology behind it. It is giving you time, temperature, some different activity. Now, is that a AI? Yes, that is also AI only. Okay, so any software, any automation, any level of system driven decisions, we call it artificial intelligence only. Okay, whichever systems are giving predictable output. Okay, predictable output, like for example Google Translate. Okay, so it is translating English to Hindi. It's called supervised learning. Okay, because we are giving an input, we are telling go and search for this, and then go and give this output. Now let's say we are giving Sanskrit to Spanish. Will there be a direct dictionary? We may not have a dictionary. So what Google will do, Google will go and check the Sanskrit word, okay, and convert it into the nearest available language. That could be Hindi or English. Then from that Hindi, let's say only Hindi was available. From Hindi, it will go and translate to English. After that English, it will go and translate to Spanish. Okay. So now still it is a supervised learning only, because I am giving some inputs. Okay. It's sort of a decision tree. If directly meaning is available, go and pick this. If not, check like this. If not, check like this. So that it's going to be a complex decision tree based on which you're going to get an output. So this is a supervised learning, okay, which is a subset of machine learning. Machine learning is a subset of AI. Okay. So if we say now, it will be like, it's a overarching word. Okay. AI is a overarching word where it was wide enough to cover from a calculator to a watch to a bot which is working in a factory, or a bot supporting something, to some application doing automation. Okay, so it's a very, very wide parlance is attached to AI. So subset of AI, from a technology or a data scientist or a data analytics perspective, a subset of AI is machine learning, deep learning, predictive algorithms, etc. Now, overall, all these, what it constitutes, from where it comes, then the correct answer is statistics. Okay, Where it comes from? It comes from statistics. So machine learning, we are talking about, let's say, supervised learning. Okay. So the example I gave is an example of translation, is an example taken from decision trees. Okay. I think all of us have learned decision trees in our IPCC or PCC syllabus, final syllabus. Everywhere in CA, we are doing a decision tree. No, that is there. Now, let's say you are going to predict a loan default. Okay. We'll come to little more audit oriented things, but let me first cover the overall landscape of AI. Then we will slowly move into audit relevant tools and techniques also. Okay. So now let's say, what was the example I was taking? Sorry. Okay, I missed it. Anyways, so basically what we are going to see is we are having an input. Okay. Decision tree I was talking about. I got it. Okay, sorry. So next, let's say a loan default prediction. Okay. So for loan default prediction, there could be lot of variables. So this also could be a decision tree, but the decision tree depends on both internal and external variables. Like, for example, economic conditions will be there, which are indirectly affecting my loan repayments. There may be some direct dependent variables like my salary, my dependent's age, whether I'm having good credit repayment scores. Like that, there may be different parameters which already captured in the data points of the bank, base which I'll be able to take a decision. So if you see this, it is a multilinear regression problem. Okay. So multilinear regression means what? First, linear regression means y is equal to mx plus c. Okay, there's a constant, there is a dependent variable, there's an independent variable. Multilinear regression means there are more than one independent variable. Okay, beta will be common. Then there will be variable 1, variable 2, variable 3, x number of variables, which will give you the dependent variable y's answer. Okay, so this what when we have studied in school days. Okay, CPT Max. So that only when a system or a machine is able to do for a large volume of data using very high computing power, then we call it machine learning. So now this machine learning, deep learning, neural networks, okay, whatever from a data science perspective we are talking, all these are nothing but a work of a statistician. Okay, it's a work of a statistician. Previously, collecting data, processing data, doing manual calculation was very, very cumbersome process. Even in Excel, if you load more than 5 lakh rows or 1 lakh row, the Excel becomes very, very difficult to handle. Like, for example, this particular PPT, I had embedded a lot of files and videos, and you saw it crash. Okay, because at that time, system will have some limitation in the capacity. But that is only from a perspective of individual computing machines like laptops and desktop. But that's not the case. We have technology available where you can run one laptop with one data center power. Okay, so if you see all the blockchain miners, Bitcoin miners and all, they use huge computing power. Okay, for mining one coin or half coin. Okay, or quarter of a coin. So now so much of data is available because of adoption of use of technology. Then we are having all the infrastructure which is there required for doing this computing power, and we have the knowledge of the statistician to make this algorithms run using technology where they are able to process and give outputs which are useful for some business decisions or some personal decisions or business like common public decision. Like, for example, corona time, everyone were doing some analytics to give prediction for public health. Okay, so those are some public welfare activity, but mostly if you see, all these techniques are used for business only. Okay, so only auditor perspective, the adoption is less, but business perspective, the adoption is very, very, very high. So that is, if you ask an auditor of the bank how much AI he uses to audit the bank, will be much, much, much lesser. Okay, but the bank will be using lot of AI, lot of RPA, lot of machine learning. Okay, because there it's a core of the business. For us, it's a support function. Okay. So now in our session today, the next 1.5 hours, what we are going to discuss, we are going to discuss in a way, not just the predictive models or models which cannot be easily deployed. Okay. I'm going to take small utilities which we can take on a automation perspective or efficiency perspective, and we can put to use in audit. Okay, so that is the objective of this session. So traditionally, how we do audit, first we have some checklist, we have the audit objective. Next, we use our intelligence, we use the data available, we do some audit procedure, and we arrive at the output. So here there is one important downside which we need to be aware of. That downside is not every auditor is able to give this part of the process to his team or delegate this. Why we are not able to do? Because here there is a lot of industry expertise, the experience of the auditor, the skepticism of the auditor. All this plays a very important role, where we are coming out with audit points, audit objectives, audit exceptions, reports, excellent report writing. See, sometimes what happens, you do an excellent audit and you get a lot of observations. But if you don't present it in the right way, okay, the essence is lost. The management does not understand the impact your observation is going to create. Maybe it's a valid observation, but if we are not putting forth to the management in the right perspective, then the impact of the observation may not reach the management, right? So what happens here is the knowledge transfer becomes very difficult. It is not possible for one auditor to do all the audits, right? So in our newer methodology, what is the expectation, or what ML means? ML is machine learning. What machine learning means is you have data. Okay, you have historical data. Now I'll take an example. We all do IFC testing, internal financial control testing. So in internal financial control testing, what is our base data? Yes, what is our base data? Risk assessment is the base data, right? So let's say we are going to take procurement as a function and we are going to write risk assessment matrix. Risk control matrix. So now what is my base? My base is going to be assessing different risks that could come in procurement function. So one is I do process study, I write risks for that organization, is the right approach. I am no way contradicting to it. But will it be nice if I have historical data of all the procurement IFC RCMs which I have written, okay, where I have consolidated, created a database, and now instead of doing knowledge transfer from my brain to my team, orienting my team that this for every industry I have to orient separately, instead of that, if I consolidate, keep in one file, I'm not going to give reference RCMs every time to my team. I'm going to create one knowledge bank which contains all procurement related risks, okay, in the my historical data, which is my knowledge bank. And I'm going to give some best practice controls that can be implemented for that risk. So now I give this to my team. So now is it easier for the team to identify based on the particular process the organization is following? They need not copy paste the entire thing, but now they have a reference point based on which for the respective client, they'll be able to build the data model. That is the RCM. Okay. So what in model building, what in ML, basically in ML, what we do, okay, in machine learning, what data scientists do is they take historical data, okay, then they try multiple algorithms. So they'll see whether it will fit a neural network, it will fit a regression, will it fit there's something called CART, clustering, so many different statistical techniques are there, deep random forest, decision trees, okay. So like that, different algorithms are there, statistical algorithms. They will see which algorithm is fitting into this historical data and giving correct output, okay. That is, let's say in historical data, already I'll know whether it's a fraud or not. Okay, because output is already there, it's historical data only. Okay, so whether it's fraud or not fraud, output is already there. So now I have to put it into an algorithm. Okay, and that algorithm will give me again its output. This is historical data output. I will give, the algorithm will give again fraud or not. Right. So what is my work is, I mean to say a data scientist work is, they will evaluate this answer with this answer. That is, this answer, okay, historical data, what was the original output, from based on my data model, what was the output. If this and this match, then my data model is final. This is a data model ready for deployment. So it is in ML, the first line on above this line. Okay, this line is called like development. It's like development. Once application is developed, it can be deployed live and people can start making data entry. Similarly, in this artificial intelligence, how generally these algorithms are created is, first you have historical data where output is already available. I create algorithms. Okay, there are a lot of tools you can create in R, Python, SPSS, Cognos, Power BI, Tableau, anywhere you can do the algorithm. Okay, so after you build the algorithm and you match the results. So let's say all 100% of historical data you are able to match in your algorithm and create an output. Then you will test this multiple times and check how many times it is correctly predicting your output. If all the tests it passes, then this data model is final. Once this data model is final, it can be deployed. Okay, so once this data model is deployed, what happens? Every time a new data comes, leave alone the historical data, for a similar function. Now let's say this this is, let's say, procurement RCM. Okay, I have all the risks in procurement. Okay, and I'm telling these are all the controls that should be there. If these controls are not there, these are all red flags. Which are all high risk controls, which are all low risk controls, which are all, I'll give risk rating, heat maps, whatever parameters I want, I will give based on my internal assessment. Okay, and I finalize the data model, and then I will put a new data for that particular risk. The data model is applied and it will give prediction. So now, should it be done in an automated tool? Should it give answer like chat GPT? Should it work like a RPA tool? Or can it be an Excel sheet? Is up to us. Okay. But the essence is this. Essence is you are creating a process wherein you are capturing data, you are capturing output. Okay. Basis which it is going to support your decision. Okay. Something like we study in ITSM, no? It's called DSS, Decision Support System, right? So every decision support system is in a way a AI tool only. Okay, so it can be in anything as simple as an Excel sheet. Okay, so generally this is the methodology for AI. So generally how the industry works is, historical data will be in databases like MySQL, Oracle, PLSQL, MongoDB, HANA, Hive. There are so many structured databases, unstructured databases, right? So next is algorithm. Algorithm will be mostly in R or Python. Those are the two important tools or programming languages which are used for building data analytics or AI based models, data models. And output could be mapped to any application. Like for example, if it was a let's say loan default prediction, they may tag it to the loan origination system, because that is going to help me identify whether this person will default a loan or not. Now let's say it's going to be a healthcare based data model. It will be mapped to your insurance, or it could be mapped to your healthcare provider systems. So that is to me, what I'm trying to tell is, once a data model is ready, this can be patched into any business application in order to evaluate prediction income. Like for example, this data model will be interfaced like a CIBIL check. See, every application, including Google Pay, GPay, is having check your CIBIL score. See, CIBIL is one data model stored in one place by CIBIL, an external rating agency. Now what I'm doing, I am taking the API key. API means application interface, right? I'm taking the application interface for the particular rating agency, and I am providing my customers, or I am using in my business for evaluating or taking my business decisions, right? So like that, this data model can be used anywhere. Okay, so this is model building. So quick summary, AI is a overarching technique. Okay, so it can be any program that can sense, reason, act, or adapt. Okay, it can be manual or automated. Okay, next is machine learning algorithms which perform info. It may give output, it may increase performance. Okay, based on some theory of data pattern which was identified in the over period of time. Okay, so can I build predictive models for a new application which does not have base data? Actually, the entire machine learning is based on data only. Okay, so new system means unsupervised learning. Little changes in the variable system will be able to manage and give correct output, but totally new. Okay, this type of scenarios itself is not there. For that, I need to evaluate output. Then machines cannot do that. Only human intelligence can do that. Okay, so deep learning is again a subset of machine learning. Here it creates neural networks, basically different data sets, how they are connected, clustering. There are different techniques of deep learning. All these are statistical techniques which are mapped into different parameters. Okay, so now we have done a lot of very abstract learning so far. So some key benefits are, when you are able to use AI, first, it will reduce a lot of manual burden in terms of recreating things. Okay, it will provide surely more comprehensive audits. Like for example, even in your knowledge, you know 50 different risk points which you can evaluate for procurement. Okay, in that audit, in that meeting, when you were presenting it, it is not always possible that all 50 points you remember. But once you remember, you write and keep, and you are maintaining archival of all the things which you are knowing then and there. Okay, this is going to create a lot better system. Okay, in order to ensure that even by negligence, we are not missing anything. Okay, so process which we follow for audit is also very, very important. Of a broad level, strategic insights, both for the auditor and for the auditee. It will surely better the resource utilization, because it will save a lot of time in redoing the research. Many times, if you notice, even in my team also that happens. That is, let's say, previous year or previous client, for some work, some research has been done, some documentation has been done. If it's not done properly, the second time we need a similar activity, we'll not be in a position to use that documentation which was done, or R&D which was done. It's like we need to redo that R&D activity again, right? And generally, these, if we are monitoring properly, documenting properly, surely will reduce a lot of time and effort, and will better the resource utilization. And obviously, cost optimization, it increases business value. I'll tell you, before we used to use, let's say 5-6 years before, when we used to do a lot of sampling and we used to do audits, okay, the quality of the observations we used to get, and now for the same audits, okay, at similar costs, when we are able to do some analytical procedures, okay, follow our risk universe and do analytical procedures, get exception reporting, the value we are able to deliver to the business is much, much, much higher. Okay, so the value proposition is very, very high when we are able to use AI, not just data analytics, okay, including pattern recognition, okay, identifying exceptions, identifying outliers. All these actually create a lot of insights as to compliances. It could be even policy non-compliance, regulatory non-compliance, etc. Okay. And let's say even in terms of not, let's say, forensic related activity, there also these type of tools actually come very handy. We will see few use cases in the time to come. So this is the base audit methodology. That is, I am having an annual audit plan. I need to have a strategy. I have to assess risk. I have to review processes. Okay. This is the overall scope of the audit basis which audit plan is there. So first I need to have objective scope, team budget, hours, etc. Then I will do a process survey. I will create flow charts, risk control matrix, etc. Then for my audit procedure documentation, I need to have audit programs, okay, audit plan, audit team execution, audit team orientation, all that. Okay. Then I will do field visit, audit report, follow up, work papers for all this is required. Now we can see in each area how we can automate things or how we can use different tools and techniques. Okay. First, I will show you one tool, which is like very, very simple. I will not call it, as I told you, AI is not just predictive algorithm. Something which is going to help us in monitoring or managing or automating tasks is also AI only. Okay. So now we are having audit methodology. Now in this, from planning to execution, do we need to monitor this activity as a, let's say, audit manager or as an audit partner? It is a very, very important responsibility on me. I need to know in each client place what is happening, who is doing what, and it should not be very voluminous work. Like, let's say I'm going to ask my team to put hourly timesheet. It's a very complex work and I need different softwares, different applications, etc. Right. So there is a simple tool which I'm going to show you today. So all of you would have heard or used a tool called Office 365, right? What is Office 365? So basically, Microsoft Office comes with what is called as perpetual license. Perpetual license means a license that is there for life. Like, for example, people who have bought Microsoft Office 2010. Okay. That laptop also would have lost life, but that license is still there. But what is the use of that license now? Okay, it will not have any features that match the current configuration of systems, etc. Right? So it is very important for us to have tools which are actually supporting our activity and which are relevant and current, right? So what Microsoft did few years back is they came out of the perpetual model. That is, they are still giving perpetual licenses. I'm not saying they are not giving, but they have come out with an annual license renewal policy wherein they are giving the users all the latest functionalities which they are releasing. Okay. So this comes with a nominal price. It's a software with, like, it's an office utility to suite where it will have Word, Excel, PowerPoint, all that. Okay. So they are giving multi-user. That is my ID. Let's say I have one ID, Deepika. My ID, I can connect to all my desktops, laptops, phones, even 5-6 devices. Already, I think my account itself, I'm having in more than 5 devices. So in across devices, it's allowing me to sync, collaborate, use their Microsoft Cloud, etc. and all. It's a very, very common tool. I am very sure that almost all of us will be using Microsoft Office. All of us will be using Word, PowerPoint, Excel, right? So in Excel, I'm talking about a particular version of Excel, which is very, very useful. That is Office 365. This comes as a personal use also, and it comes in as a enterprise use also. That is, you can have your domain, like let's say you have a firm name, and in that firm name you have a domain. For the domain, you can buy enterprise license and you can assign it to different users of your organization. Okay. So Office 365 is a suite of tools. So I'm just changing my screen. I hope it is visible. Just a minute. Okay. So now if you see, I'm here. So this comes with all your apps. This is Office 365. Okay. So if you see, it is having so many apps. Okay. Candidly, you can send your calendar to other person where they can look at the time, convenient time, and they can block. Okay. Outlook, Teams, this is a project management tool. Then we have Power BI, PowerPoint. Okay. Visio, to do projects, whiteboard, bookings. Okay. This is one thing I was telling about the calendar page, where my calendar will get updated. It, like other people won't see all my schedules. They will know which all times are available, which are all not blocked. So they can book accordingly and schedule meetings. Okay, Insights, Power Automate. So there are more in productivity. So see, already we have scrolled down to more than 20 tools. Okay, and still there are more tools. So this is a very, very useful functionality which comes with this Office 365 license. Okay. So in this, I'm going to show you from an audit management perspective. There's a tool called lists. So list is here, this thing. Okay. I hope it's visible. This yellow, orange, red line. No, this is called lists. So lists is a very, very useful tool where you can manage any list. It could be, let's say, I'll show you what list I have done. It is basically any workflow you have. Okay, all the like, let's say you are having 10 email IDs in your domain and you have procured 10 Microsoft licenses. All the 10 people will be able to collaborate and work. Like, for example, in this, I have created one project. So this is the project creation screen. Okay, I'm putting some value. I'm putting who's the manager, and I'm putting start date, end date, and I'm putting team members ID. Okay, now I'm putting one team member. See, automatically this member is added. Okay, once I save this, a mail trigger will go to that person where he'll be able to add status for that project. So he knows something is allotted to him by his manager. Okay, so like this, you need not have any user access management. You need not have any separate workflow management. Nothing is required. Directly you can open list, new list, and you can define what all columns you want. So now I have put some columns like which portfolio it is, whether it's audit, IFC, statutory, basically the category of client. Okay, who is the project manager, when it is intended to start, what is the actual start date, end date, project status, team members. I have added some. This is actually not, percentage is not based on any mathematical thing. It's a manual thing where I'm going to give 30% work completed, 50% work completed, like that. So now let's say I'm going to give add column. It is the owner of the sheet can do this. It is as simple as I can decide. It's a person, it's a hyperlink. Like, let's say I'm going to give them to upload something. Okay, I can make them upload something. Okay, so like that, I can keep adding columns, creating workflows, and assigning to people, and people can update. So this is like a simple resource management dashboard. So here there are different views for the reports also. Like I can see project wise, portfolio wise. Okay, the report will change portfolio wise, how much is there. Okay, in totally in accounting manual BRD, how much is there. So I'll be able to change status wise. So like that, there are different views. Now let's say I am the partner. Okay, every time the status is falling or there is any change in the team, I want an alert. Okay, that is the expectation, right? So now we'll come to the RPA part. First I introduced to the tool. Now we'll come to the AI part. Okay, so in Microsoft Office 365, we are getting a tool called as Power Automate. Okay, so what is this Power Automate? Power Automate is a RPA tool. RPA means robotic process automation, right? RPA tool where we can collaborate within our organization, connect to multiple apps, and define the rules. I was telling, right, in the AI part where we can define rules or processes, how we have to do some activity, right? And then we can manage alerts, we can manage reports. Like, for example, let's say every time a Google form is submitted, the sheet is getting updated, right? But every time you want to evaluate or run the sheet, what you need to do? You will download the sheet, put a pivot, make an analysis, then make the summary of the analysis, and then you will make a findings. Now, let's say you want to redo that. So few more responses have come. Then again, you'll copy the data, put it into your existing pivot or create a new pivot and do the analysis, right? Now, let's say it's a recurring task. The same form is going to get filled again and again. Like, for example, let's say using Google Form or Microsoft Forms, you are going to make your attendance system. Daily, you are having a timestamp punch in information from attendance system. You can use Power Automate tool, okay, to create a OneDrive or a SharePoint sheet in SharePoint. And that SharePoint sheet can update a Excel dashboard or a Power BI dashboard, wherein a person's attendance is automatically computed. So that is possible with a Power Automate tool. Like, for example, I'll just show you. So there are some automated flows, new flows, scheduled flow, like that. There are a lot of things. How it works is, first, when item is created in SharePoint, what you want to do. So the inbuilt triggers are there. More than this, this will be little complex to understand. From here, if we see, you will understand better. So list I have created. I have created jobs. Okay, I have created some jobs and I have created some people, some status, etc. Now I'll go to automate. It's a default thing. I have not configured anything. It's a default thing only. And I'll give create a rule. Okay. So it is asking for what you want to create the rule. So though we say RPA as a big word, AI as a big word and all, now we are not learning how to do AI tool. We are not discussing how to create RPA. We are only using the application of the tool. That is, we are trying to use an existing application, right? So it is asking, if a column changes, do you want a trigger? If a column value changes, you want a trigger, or you want a trigger if something is added, or you want to create a trigger when something is deleted. Now, let's say I'm saying any new item created, then as a partner, I want to know which project manager created what. Okay. So when a new item is created, it's a simple rule. Send the email to modified by person, created by person, or me. So me is the person who's creating. So once I give create, automatically every time a new item is created in the list, I will get a mail trigger. Okay. Now let's say any item changes, I want to create a rule. Now I'll say in a column value change, choose a column. Let's say I want to give project status. Every time someone puts project status as 100, that means it's a trigger for me to initiate billing, right? So I'm going to give is, I can give is 100. Send an email to me. Actually, it's an automation. It's a AI based automation, or whatever name you call it. Okay. We can just give create. And every time you put, someone puts 100 and the volume is changing, I will get an email for me. Okay. So something like project management, which seems like very complex. Now we are not building complex workflows, creating timesheets, monitoring time, nothing. So this is not a project management tool, but it's like a Kanban card. You want to see what client, okay, where we are, who are the team members. I want some simple solution. So then this is a very, very good solution. And this Power Automate doesn't work only for lists. It works in everything. So now we'll come back to our Power Automate screen. So if you see here, so flow name, you can give something. Okay. The flow is every time an email is arrived. Okay. You want to look for something and evaluate something and then send, or when an event is added to the calendar. Like this, it's step by step, like pipeline only it will come. It's like a workflow automation. So you can decide what you want to do and you just follow the process. It's like opening a Instagram account. Okay. Okay. So first is Microsoft Form. Someone is creating something. Next, what I need to do? It should go to which tool, whether it should go to AI Builder, Desktop Floor, Excel. Okay, some are free, some premium tools are there, but mostly free tools itself will actually do a lot of activity for us. Okay, so you can choose whether it should be a trigger or an action. Okay, flow button should come on a mobile. Okay, and how it should come, or like that I can keep registering. So now if see, okay, there is one connection which is already created. Now I want to create a new flow. I can keep creating actually. Okay, I think this is not a valid trigger. Basically, what we are trying to discuss is that we are trying to use the inbuilt functionalities of robotic process automation in Office 365 for automating related tasks to office management or audit management. Okay, for a selected it. Okay, then I'll take a new step. So which is the SharePoint folder you are going to create? Let's say in client data you want to create, and what is the new name you want to give? Is it a existing name you want to connect? And in from that SharePoint, whether you want to update a Excel dashboard or a Power BI dashboard, like that you can keep creating. So Power BI also has, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. Okay. Add a row in the data set. So what happens every time in a form someone is creating one line item, it will add the row in the database which you have created, and it will update the visual. So it's like a real-time updating MIS, which can facilitate decision making. Okay. So this is one simple tool which we can use for audit management. Okay. So like this, we will see for different parts of audit what we can deploy. Okay, so these are the phases inside audit. Audit planning we saw. Next is risk assessment. So in risk assessment, what we'll be doing, we'll be establishing audit universe, we'll be creating risk profile, identify needs for audit, etc. So here, what are the representative tasks or technology which we can use? So first we can do risk assessment, risk visualization, cross business comparatives. Okay, all these are some risk-based dashboards which we can build. Okay, audit planning we already saw. Next is performing audit procedure. So in risk assessment itself, I'll say. So first thing we saw about how we can use our existing knowledge, create a dashboard or create a knowledge bank or a risk universe for particular industry or particular function. But now let's say we are also new to that function. Like for example, there is this crypto mining, okay, or crypto trading. This is a relatively new area. Okay, you also don't have any exposure, but the client has come, he's a crypto exchange company. You need to give statutory audit report for him or internal audit report for him. So now you can take some AI support. Okay, we can use tools like ChatGPT or any generative AI. Generative AI means it is going to do a supervised learning, okay, based on all data available in Google and give you data in a structured form. Okay, so I'll just show you. Okay, so if you see, this is ChatGPT. It's the free version of the ChatGPT where I have created an account. One small prompt I have given. Give list of fraud risk areas for credit risk in bank. So if you see, your prompts in ChatGPT should be very, very, very generic. It should not leave any client name. It should not give any client credentials or your credentials. It will surely profile you. Okay, it is surely taking data. Like for example, let's say today you are searching for something, you don't get an answer. OpenAI is saying no, I don't have answer for this, I'm not capable of this. Okay, 10 days down the line or 1 week down the line or 2 days down the line, you put the same prompt, it will give answer, because based on our question, it will go and fetch more data, it will analyze better, and it will be able to give output. Okay, because it's a learning algorithm. It will learn based on data which is available. Okay, and every time you create a prompt, it will be a fresh answer. It is not giving based on some dictionary directly. This is the question, this is the answer, not like that. It is actually going and building the answer. Okay, so this way it is going to give you some output. Just by like updating the risks in this, first thing is, if you are going to compromise any data, again we will be sued for sure. Recently also there was some case where some in one company they had used OpenAI to write minutes of the meeting, where the employee had given some key decisions taken in the meeting, okay, which was price sensitive, which was LODR against data. Okay, and what happened, those employees were sacked, they were sued, and the company actually banned use of ChatGPT, because after they put this data, no, it was that data went viral, the data was compromised. So whatever data you put into ChatGPT, it will be available as results for someone else, right? So like that, these people have used it for minutes book, and someone else has GPT, and they had made it public, which actually resulted in a breach for that company, and it became a very, very big issue, right? So whenever you are using ChatGPT, we need to be very, very ChatGPT surely is a boon. Okay, it is not a con or a bin, it's a boon, but we have to know how to use it. So there's a saying in Tamil which is called even if it is amardam. Okay, amardam means, I don't know the equivalent English word, something food of saints, like that, food of God. Okay, if you eat too much, it becomes poison. Okay, so like that, even though it is good, if you use in a way which it should not be used, then it can backfire. So we have to be very conscious. I know a lot of us are already using ChatGPT. So I am sure a lot of you may be writing better prompts than what I'm showing. So we can write a lot of prompts. We can give the one more big advantage in ChatGPT is once you start a chat and you give continuous prompts, let's say 4th prompt, 5th prompt, 6th prompt, it will learn better, it will refine your answer better, and it will be able to give better answer. But if many times for audit, we are not going to do big research, so it may give correct answer in first or second prompt itself. But still, there is that risk which we need to understand, where we are masking and making very generic statements, where we are taking this and then putting into our documentation. Don't upload any document, client document, directly in ChatGPT. ChatGPT will read Excel, Word, everything, but if you put, it's a very huge risk. So don't upload any client data or audit firm data into ChatGPT. But yes, it's a very, very useful tool where we can take some inspirations or reference points. Okay, so if you see, I'm giving give list of fraud risk areas. So next is it is giving me these application fraud, collusion fraud, credit card fraud, payment fraud, like that. It is giving me some 20 areas. Now let's say give me another 20. It will give me 20. Okay, and one more nice, so now actually see, it is giving shell companies, the company is not having correct employees, forged guarantees. So it is actually thinking more and it is giving. So like that, if you make it think more, the hard thinking which you want to write, or if you want to Google by opening 20 tabs, okay, you can write 2 or 3 prompts and get the answer from ChatGPT. So generative AI is a boon. The precautions which we need to take are the most important things that we have to have in mind, so that there is no negligence in our part where there is any breach of client auditor privity. Okay, so this way risk assessment is most easy now because of ChatGPT. So another thing, even control. Now let's say I have taken 40 risks. For each risk now, I can have separate prompts where I'll ask ChatGPT to give controls or ideal controls and ideal business scenario, what can be implemented. So don't put tool names here. Okay. Tool names or application names are not required, but as a process for this risk, what all I should check. So that also we can further refine our prompts in ChatGPT to get better answers. Okay. So this is on the risk assessment line. So next is performing audit, developing testing strategy, and review of design effectiveness. Okay. So here, lot of automation is possible. Automation of IA task. We can do data modeling and batch reporting. Okay. So whatever we saw in the PPT in the first 2 slides, this is nothing but data modeling. Okay. Data modeling is nothing but you are having some sequence. Okay. You are having some sequence of queries that are going to be written. It can be a if formula, it can be a VLOOKUP formula, it can be, let's say, this or that, choose, match, it can be any formula. Okay. Based on some parameters. Now, let's say you're going to do GST reconciliation. Input data is fixed. Okay. You are going to check for GST invoice not in returns, credit not taken, credit taken more than 180 days. There are, let's say, some 10 red flags which you want to evaluate. Okay. For all the 10 red flags, you are going to write some formula or do some audit procedure, like first download this, then upload this, filter this, after filtering this, pivot this, match it with this, then give the output. Okay. Now this sequence of steps, what you're doing is called as a algorithm or a data model. Okay. So now data model could be quantitative. These are generally called quantitative techniques. Okay. So like regression is also a quantitative techniques. The sequence of steps, what you do is also a quantitative technique. The thing is, you are having your bespoke system. You are custom making your algorithm. It is not a statistical algorithm which you are deploying directly, but it will be something which you are creating. Okay. That is only data model. Now, let's say you are going to do 26 AS reconciliation. Some statutory audit examples still. It's a very simple task. You want to do 26 AS, AS, TAS, download JSON file, load it in a tool. It can be Power Query. Easiest tool to load data and transform data is Power Query. Power Query is the backend, I mean to say, is an add-in feature which comes in the latest version of Excel. I will just show you that also maybe. Okay, you can connect to JSON files, PDF files, image files, and you can transform that data and you can evaluate the data. Then you can do some analytical procedures in that data. Then you can create some reports. So now 26 AS JSON files you download, upload, then you filter, remove subtotals, create totals, client weights, consolidate. So this is a ETL work. ETL means data extraction, transformation, and loading. So first you are extracting data, transforming data. So once the data 26 AS is fixed, then you have to reconcile with sales file. So this is one advice based on the 26 AS reconciliations I have done. Do client-wise reconciliation. Line item-wise reconciliation is not possible because in 26 AS, we don't get invoice number. So if let's say 10,000, 10 invoices are there against Japan, okay, in the same day, then there is no way to filter it out. So that only totals we can check. Okay, if the amount is same, day is same, everything is same. Otherwise, yes, all other parameters, 26 AS will validate straightforwardly. So now this is a data model. So like this, you can identify all data models which we can do and keep wherever we have standard input. Okay, algorithms are fixed and output is fixed. Now let's say procurement. So you are doing every month or every quarter procurement review for your internal audit client. So that client has some application. Let's say they have Oracle Financials or SAP Financials, and purchase report comes in a particular format. So what you can do, you can connect these tools like Power purchase request, purchase register, purchase invoice, and let's say GRN. So three-way match you want to do. You are collating all the information. It's going to be in a standard format where you can import the data, and based on the data imported, you are going to do what match. That's all. See, highest algorithm required for highest algorithm required for audit will be what? Matching and reconciliation and gap. Okay, sequence not there in this application, not in that application, in this application, not in this application. Okay, this total is different from this total. Okay, this and this are not matching. So mainly in audit, this is the highest level of algorithm we may be requiring. Now, predictive algorithms which you want to make, yes, we can do, but not for audit. We can do as a value added or consulting service where we can help client predict demand. Let's say there is something called as IFRS 9, or Ind AS, I think it's 109, which talks about provisioning based on early warning system, right? So where you have to consider macroeconomic indicators and microeconomic indicators have some factor for validating what provision that they have to create in books. So these are all some value added service where you can use predictive algorithms. I'll show you 1 or 2 predictive algorithms also, but on a day-to-day basis, as a inside internal audit function, we may not require predictive algorithms. From a business perspective, yes, it is very much required, but as an independent function of an auditor, it is not required. Okay, so that is the overview. Okay, so now for automating IA tasks, what tool we can use? I am going to introduce you to Power Query and Power BI. It is a very, very, very easy tool. Again, Microsoft is like has already become like one of our family members, where everything, once you open laptop, it comes from Microsoft. Okay, so we are living in that generation or era where we are totally dependent on them. So I'm going to introduce you to tools which are available from them. So again, Excel, any specific version that is required for running this, from Microsoft 2013 version, Power Query is available as an add-in. Add-in means you need to deploy separately. Okay, and it's like you have to download, put as an add-in and use. But in from 2016 version, everything, it is inbuilt. Like inside data tab, you will have something called as get data. Okay, in this get data, you can connect to Power Query. Like once you give this, like if you see from file, it is asking, do you want to import from Excel, text, JSON, PDF, from a folder? Okay, from a database, you want SQL access, analysis, SQL Server. Azure is the cloud services of Microsoft. Then Microsoft Power Platform, they have something called as data flows, Dataverse. Okay, from there, do you want to take? Next is whether you want ODBC. ODBC is the connector which we use for tally data. Okay, then we have Microsoft Query. Okay, access query from a table, from a website. So from a web, if you give and put a URL, it will import data from the website, whatever is available, and it will give you. Okay, so currently I'm not going to do that. I'll show you something very simple, like maybe I'll show you. So now when I introduce you to Power Query, I'll introduce you to Power BI also. Power BI is also a Power BI is also a tool from Office from Microsoft. So how it is, I'll just show you once, then you'll know. So actually Power BI comes as different versions. They have something called as desktop version, pro version, enterprise version. So if you see this Power BI desktop, it is a single user version where you don't need to pay license fee. You can download from Microsoft, powerbi.microsoft.com, and you can start using it. It's a free tool. It's not an open source tool. It's a free tool where single user, you need not connect to cloud or anything. You can just use it. Okay. So next is Power BI. You have pro version. Okay. So this mobile, okay. Pro version is there. I think in products it will be there. Pro, premium, mobile, embedded, all these are there, where you want to collaborate with multiple users and do some activity and all. Okay. So now, if you see this Power BI, here also we have something called as data. Okay. And data source or get data. Okay. I'll show you get data. So now this get data and the get data which we saw in Excel, data, get data. So this and this data which we saw here are same. get data. Okay. What they are doing is in Excel, what is the disadvantage we are having? The disadvantage is if you connect or if you put have an Excel sheet for more than 1 lakh rows, it will not run well or the efficiency is reduced. Why is it reducing? Is it incapability of Excel? No, it is not incapability of Excel. It is the system computing capacity because Excel is a utility. Okay. And everything in Excel will be processed in your RAM. Okay. Like for example, let's say you have 10 sheets and 10 sheets have formula. Every minute, every sheet's formula will get updated because it's an utility. It is not an application. It does not have a front end and a back end. Okay. But let's say Instagram, it will have how many trillions of users or billions of users. But at a time you're opening your profile in your device, only your related information is loading. That also not all. Only recent view will be loading, because of which you are able to have a better speed for data retrieval. But Excel is not like that. All user data, all sheet data, all formulas, all images, everything, it will keep operating 24/7 when it's open. So it is not able to process the data efficiently, right? So to circumvent that, okay, in order to circumvent that, Microsoft created what is called as a Power Query editor. Okay. So if you see any Excel sheet, okay, you open any Excel sheet, data, get data. I'm just loading some random Excel now. Okay, some data is there. Okay. I'm loading this data. So you see what happens. Once I load data, it goes to the backend. So it is asking, it is showing me preview. It's showing load or transform. That is, you want to work on this data or directly load the data. I'm going to say I want to work on this data. So once I give transform data, what is happening is Excel is creating a backend, which is called Power Query Editor. Okay. Which is having all the columns, already headers are read. Already, if you see here, applied steps is there. In Excel, what is the important problem we used to face? On the face of it, it will not show any audit trail. We will not know who did what to the data, but the data has come, output has come. Whether that is right or wrong, what steps have been applied, all that is not possible. But now it is possible. What is the source? From which folder it is connected? Okay, you know, this is the folder, this is the file that is connected. What happened next? It was navigated and that page was loaded. After this page is loaded, one page at a time, actually. If you see sheet one only is loaded, you can upload only one sheet at a time. Each sheet will be like a database table. Okay. Next is it promoted headers, change type, like that. Now let's say I'm going to create something. I'm going to let's say delete this master ID column or reference column. It will add one, remove. It will add one, remove this column, and it's showing someone removed the column. So in this, it will come. You see, formula is written automatically, table.remove columns, reference. So change type is the previous step. After change type, reference column was removed. This is the meaning of the formula. Okay. So if you see, all this is capable where it is capturing the data. Now what happened? Excel is closed. That book one, okay, is there, but I'm not working on the book one. I'm working on backend Power Query. Same thing for Power BI also. Now if I give close and load, okay, close and load, that data from Power Query will get closed and load in the Power BI desktop. So what it is intending to do is, the logic is you will be having Power Query where you will do all the computing, where it is connecting to the entire database, which could be of millions of rows. You do transformation, create exception reports or analytical reports, whatever you want to do. And after building the final reports, okay, then you load the data. Only the final report will load into your Power BI. So all the formulas you did, all the functions you wrote in Power Query stays in Power Query. It will not open every time this file is opened. Okay, that way Excel will work more efficiently. Your reports will be here, workings will be in the backend. Okay. Similarly, only Power BI also will work. So Power BI is having get data. So once you give get data, okay, a Power Query will come. So for saving time, I have already connected to a data. And if we go to your transform data, it will connect to Power Query. So this is same actually. So Power BI and Excel, only the front end is different. That is, in Excel, you will have rows and columns. In Power BI, you are going to have dashboard where you can build some charts. Okay. But Power Query, the base, okay, in which you're going to build your extraction, transformation, loading system, it's going to be same. That is Power Query. So now if you see, there is two instances, untitled Power BI desktop. There is untitled Power Query editor. Okay. So both are different. Okay. Both can be open in parallel in Power BI. But in Excel, at a time, one only you can open. That is, you can work with the Excel sheet or the Power Query editor. Both cannot be open in the same time. But desktop, you can open both. So now, maybe since I'll take just a couple of minutes, I can show you how it can help you actually automate tasks or build models. Like, let's say PDF you want to read. I'm going to connect. I'll hopefully I'll be able to find the file soon. Okay, I'll show you. This is it. There was one file, no? This we'll see. So this is a bank statement. Okay, I'll just show you the bank statement. Okay, this is the bank statement. Okay, extracted from a this thing. This is my statement, basically, little older. So it has some data, some table. So now if I want to analyze this or do credit analysis, I need to upload this to a online tool, or I have to subscribe to a premium version of any Nitro or Adobe Reader, and then I have to convert it, right? So instead of that, what I'm going to do now is, if you see, I can just connect to table. Okay. So if you see, already table is red. So these are the 4 pages. So 4 pages inside that sheet. So if you see, PDF is having 4 pages. All 4 pages are red. Individually, each page you want, or total table. I want total table. And I give transform data. So now if you see, automatically in table 1, all 4 pages are consolidated. So if I had done page 1, I'll go to navigation. I'll put page 1. Page 1 means it would have had the headers, etc. and all. Again, I will connect. So like this, it can, now let's say you are having 5 different files. Okay, for every quarter, they have given you 1 file. What you can do is, you can put all the 5 files together, and then you can connect to the folder directly. Okay, if you connect to the folder directly, it will combine all the files in the folder and will give, let's say, GST report. Every month, there is 1 GST return. All 12 returns you want to combine. You can connect to a folder and combine. So these are all some audit automation which is possible using tools which are readily available, free of cost, or which we are already subscribed to, where we are doing some additional procedure. So if you see page 1, it has all these headers, email IDs, phone numbers, etc. So I directly chose table, so it came. But let's say in my data which is generated in PDF, table is not coming. Then I have to actually connect like this, all the page, and do some transformation steps wherein I am going to remove this unwanted headers and footers and all. So either way, any PDF directly you can import, read, and analyze using Power Query. Okay. So that is one very big advantage. So this is on a automation perspective, where you are building your own quantitative technique to validate some data. Now let's take some AI based tool you want to do. So you can actually analyze mails. I don't know if you are aware. So if you open Outlook, okay, in Outlook, you can actually export mails as a CSV file where it will give from to and the mail content, mail body, everything. Okay. So if you open Outlook, you go to file. Okay. Inside file, there is something called as inside file, there's something called as export import. Okay. So in that export import, you can actually get your mails, or let's say your employee mail or a client employee mail. You are doing some fraud related review where you want to identify some key employee mails you want to validate. So you can go to file, this open and export, import export utility. So if you do this, it will give export to a file. This is the option. Generally, these files will come as what? PST, .ics, .vcf. These are all for the context. Generally, PST is the format for which we will get the mail backup, right? So once we open the mail in Outlook, we give export to a file, then we give comma separated values and we give next. This is for the respective inbox, okay? So then it will ask which all folder you want to give, junk mail, inbox. So I have to choose one. Okay, I'm going to select something, okay, HR related, one folder I have created and kept. So now where you want to save. So you can give some exported file saving location. Okay, so I'm going to give some file. So what happens? This will get generated as a CSV file. So my mailbox is very big, so it may take time. But once you get a CSV file, what we can do is we can do a AI-based audit test, which is called as sentiment analysis. So in my next slide, I will tell you what it is. So basically, sentiment analysis is where I am giving system some information like these words are positive, these words are negative. And based on that, your sentiment score, generally in sentiment analysis, is a subset of what is called as text analytics. Basically, system is going to read your text, analyze that text and give you some output. Okay. So a subset of text analytics is sentiment analysis. Generally, the rating is given between 0 to 1. Okay. So 1. Okay. See now 0 is positive, like great. Great is a positive word. So it will give positive. Okay. And newer version is little slow. Slow means I'm giving a negative impression. So automatically system will identify as negative. So now for doing sentiment analysis, you can define your own words, give scores, then use that dictionary, map it to a mailbox and then analyze. Or you can directly use the AI functionality available in Microsoft, which is called as text analytics. So if we go to Power BI, okay, Power Query Editor, okay, Power Query Editor, I think it's already open. This is Power Query Editor. And take any text column. Okay, let's say this is some narration column. This is irrelevant for the time being, but still go to add column tab. There are different column tabs, transform, add column, like that. There we are having something called as text analytics. So this command group itself is called as AI insights. That means artificial intelligence insights. So text analytics, once you go, okay, it will ask what do you want to do, sentiment analysis, like that, which column, which date, like that. And it is only 2 steps approach. Okay, so I don't want to waste time. See, though it is not very slow or very this thing, but it will take a couple of minutes because it should process all the text data. It's only 2 steps. You can easily see in Microsoft Help or some Google YouTube video. You have to select the column. First, you need to have a login. See, you don't need a license account, you need a login. Okay. Because it should connect to Azure Cloud to do it. So Microsoft, you create a account login in Microsoft account, same login you use for Power BI. Once you log in, you can connect to all these AI functions. So text analytics, then you select the column, then you give what is the sentiment score you want, and then you give OK. So once you do that, actually I have a lot of files open. Because of that, I'm not able to, say it's taking more time. Okay, once you do that, what it will do is it will give all the negative words with negative rating and positive words with positive rating. So after that, based on date, time, all these things, you can put filter to ID, CCID, like that. You can put a lot of filters and you can sort out the data and evaluate sentiments or do text analytics in the file. So now text analytics from a sentiment analytics perspective is already inbuilt in Power Query, which we can use. But let's say you want to identify some audit red flags, like suspense account, so respect to person name, okay, MD name or some related party name, some company name you want to filter. Then if its number of items are small, okay, you can put if else formula, like if formula itself, if this put this, like that itself you can do. Or text analytics, you can define dictionary, your own dictionary, and then you can create this. It may take hardly 1.5 hour time for you to create the dictionary and then run text analytics on your data, where you can take audit specific red flags also. Okay. So from an audit execution perspective, there are a lot of techniques which we can use. Okay. Some are utilities based on current technology. Some are predictive analytics like the sentiment analysis. So I will just try to show you one sentiment analysis data set also. Just a minute. So all files are little big because we are running larger algorithms, etc. But as I told you, the predictive analytics based audit tests required will be less only. It will be comparatively very, very less. But it will add a lot of value when you are able to showcase these type of activities in your audit. Okay, so I have opened some other sheet now. So if you see this dashboard, okay, so this is called a spline chart, which is actually taking, this is the movement of my credit whom I have given loans based on credit score and EMI ratio. That is, if my EMI ratio is less and credit score is high, I have maximum loans in this area. Now my EMI ratio is very long and my credit score is very low. Okay, then these are my portfolio of loan. So now this is my spline line is basically like parabola, curved line, where I'm trying to point each variable and flow. Okay, and it is having outer, this is basically your 3 sigma, that is outlier. Any data falling outside 3 sigma is an outlier. Okay, that is 3 standard deviation. Okay, this is your mean line. Okay, 3 standard deviation positive, 3 standard deviation negative. So these are all falling within the normal ratio. And this all data points outside. So this is actually a R script. Okay, but I did not write the script. There is an automated chart available in Power BI. I mean to say, you have something called as get more visuals. So here you have a lot of more advanced analytical charts. Like let's say box plot you want to put. Box plot is 5 number summary. Basically, I will be creating outlier, upper mean, mode, lower limit. So like that, I'll be having 5 number summary. That is box plot. Now let's say I want to do correlation plot. Correlation is also between different variables. You want to see movement of ledger between one data to or one ledger to another, how the data has moved. Then you can put a core plot. Why it's not coming? Core plot is there. It will come. Okay. Correlation. Okay, it's not coming, but it's there. It's there. Like that, I have spline chart. Spline, I think core plot is already inbuilt. I think here I have already put, I think, clustering. So this is a chart for clustering. This is for spline. So like that, some charts already I have put here. Okay. So now this is all scripts which are written in R or Python, which is having interface to run in Power BI, based on which we have built this statistical visualization to see concentration of loan. So now these data points I want to take separately and evaluate. Yes, I can take separately and evaluate. Okay, so these are all some visualization techniques which we can use to understand the spread of data. Okay, so these are some of the Power BI based audit techniques which we can use, which can be considered as audit automation also, or it can be considered as use of AI tools also, but still it adds value to our audit. That is the end objective. Okay, so these are some of the techniques we have discussed so far. Okay, so next I will go on to our PPT. So we were talking about sentiment analysis. I already covered about Power Automate, right? So next we are going to financial risk models. So what is financial risk models? Basically, we are having different ratios, right? We are having different ratios based on which we are able to evaluate whether in that company it will be able to make profit or not, whether it will be able to map have liquidity or not, whether it is credit worthy or not. So like for doing credit risk assessment, banks do a credit evaluation mechanism. Similarly, there are different techniques for different things, right? So these are all predictive algorithms by different statisticians for financial data review. Like for example, Montier has given something called as Montier C-score, okay, which is a score between 0 to 1. So it is a ratio based or it's a formula based active thing where you put your financial data in, substitute with this algorithm, and it will give whether the company is cooking books or not. That is, if let's say 6 different ratios are there, all the 6 ratios are negative, that means the company is not having a healthy balance sheet. There is some gap in the balance sheet or amounts that are entered, and there is a potential risk that that company has cooked the books and it is window dressed balance sheet. Okay, so how they are arriving at this? They are doing multiple tests with like hundreds of financial statements. They are having some baseline standards based on which they are assessing whether how a healthy balance sheet will be. So if it is not satisfying these criteria, what it should do. So on this basis, they are able to arrive at this number. Okay, so then we have Benish M-score. This is for manipulation indicator. So again, cooking books only, but this is a different model. So this is a formula based model. Okay, and Benish M-score is a regression based model. Okay, he has built a regression equation. Okay, saying what are all the dependent variables to create manipulation. Okay, and when we substitute these beta values which he has arrived with each variable, and if the score is greater than minus 2.22, that is if it's 1, 2, 3, minus 1, if it's greater than minus 2.22, then it means there is a high probability that financial statement is having manipulation. Okay, so then we have Olsen's O-score, Altman's Z-score, Pritioski's F-score. So there are different financial risk models, which are all AI based models only. The thing is, these are not tools. Like I showed you Power BI, Power Query, Power Automate. These are all applications and tools where we are having workflow, we are having access, we are access controls, we are having some dashboards, reports, etc. So Power BI generally is seen as a data visualization tool. But today what we saw as a business intelligence tool. Actually, BI stands for business intelligence only, not only charts or dashboards or creating some pretty looking reports. Okay, so like that, these are going to be only Excel based, formula based models where we can substitute financial numbers to evaluate whether there is fraud risk or not. Okay, so for example, I'm not going to go into all the scores. I'm just taking one example of Benish M-score, where Benish M-score consists of 8 indexes capturing financial statement anomalies. Okay, so this is based on Asian companies' balance sheet. Benish has evaluated and brought this regression equation. So the equation is like this. So this will be M. This is the constant M or C. Okay, multilinear equation will be Y is equal to C. Okay, plus beta x1. The formula will, whatever we would have studied in school, colleges, no? Beta x1, beta x2. So for every independent variable, okay, we'll be having one beta value. So like that, n number of beta and n number of variables we can have. So Benish has identified 8 variables which constitute anomalies in the financial statement presentation. So that 8 anomalies are given here. So DSRI, it is a debts days in sales receivable index. So this is a separate formula where I have to minus current year receivables minus last year receivables divided by some 360. Then I will get DSRI. So that DSRI I will multiply into 0.95 and keep this aside. Next, I'll go to next variable. Next is gross margin index. I will calculate gross margin index for the current year, multiply it by beta value, keep this value. Next, I will go to variable 3, asset quality index. So asset quality index is based on my current asset, fixed asset performance. So once this formula I will substitute, put here and keep it for multiplying with this beta. So like this, I will be identifying 8 variables. So I will substitute into the equation and finally I'll get an answer. So if that answer, okay, is less than minus 2.22, is greater than, less than 2.22, then it is good. Okay. If it is more than minus 2.22, then it is bad. Okay. So there is good use case. Actually, we haven't used for internal audits. We have used this for forensic audits where we want to evaluate, is it window dressing frauds or is there operational risk frauds? And mostly when we use this, we get correct answer. But the thing is, we have to match. Now, let's say you are taking each index, we have to see which index is giving most anomaly. So generally, it's not done for a year. We have to do for 4 or 5 years so that we can get a comparison of which variable is having maximum variance, basis which we can take that this number is not tallying. This area we are having huge fraud risk like that. So this also, it can be summarized into a simple Excel sheet where you are calculating different ratios. Okay, base information is only P&L and balance sheet. So you build a 5 years P&L, balance sheet, whatever presentation is there, and you can calculate each variable. Okay, for all the 8 variables, calculate the ratio, substitute with the formula, and see how you how that company has performed over the years. So across the years, if you have similar output, then sure it is constant from which year you are having. Basis that you can take some red flags and go and investigate further. So same information only, but different formula for Altman Z-score. This is also a quantitative technique, which is actually formula based. This is not regression based. Okay. So like that, we have Olsen F score, Montier C score, Petriosky F score. So like that, we have different scores which we can work. So this is also this is not even ratio based model. Based on this percentages, he is giving mark. If it is more than 1, give this mark. If it is less than 1, give 1 mark. Like that, he has created one quantitative model based on which he is telling whether the company will be in business. That is whether they are having liquidity or not. So if you see, all these ratios are relating to working capital, debt to asset. These are relating to cash flow management. So in Benish, we were talking about sales receivables, where we are talking about cooking books, whether inflated profits, inflated expenses, inflated liabilities are there. Here it is more on to cash flow management. So like that, we are having different models. Okay. So for those of you who have attended any of my session previously, today's session has been a kadambam. Kadambam means something of everything in different sessions which I had taken, where a few new things are also there. I think Power Automate I'm taking for the first time. So, but I think as an auditor, we can use all the small tools which we have and make best use of it and present excellent reports. I have a quick summary, one slide. It's not a summary, it's a slide which is not directly AI, but some tools which we can use for internal audit. Okay, for fraud risk also we can do. I already showed you in ChatGPT. Risk scoring and all, you can create knowledge bank and do fraud risk monitoring. Yeah, this is the slide I wanted to talk about. sorry, this is the slide I wanted to talk about. So some common techniques which we want to work. So I'll say, fraud risk is always a very, very important risk, right? Which we want to address. Though we say auditor is not having responsibility to identify fraud. Okay. It is the expectation of the management and the stakeholders that auditor is expected to identify fraud. Okay. So let's say we are having 400 vendors, and in that 50 vendors, GST is not updated or address is not updated for more than 10 years. Or let's say there are some invalid PAN numbers, invalid phone numbers, invalid email IDs. Now you want to go and see whether these are real businesses or not. So there is something called as Google Street View, 360 view or Google Street View. Okay. So it is very common. Many of you may already know. For those of you who have not used it before, basically you just put some business name in Google. Okay. So I have put one shop near my house. It's called Demery's Supermarket. Okay. So what it does is it will create a road by road image. It's not Google Earth. Google Earth is different. Okay. This is called Google Street View. It is posted by Google itself. Okay. Google itself has actually taken, like, most of the places which are in commercial nature or residential in nature are covered under Google Street View. Now, if you put like LOC, Sachin Glacier or some forest area, Google Street View won't come. Okay. It is not giving some touring or experiential things, but normal, even some small villages or districts, okay, are covered in Google 360. So I can actually see like this, whether that shop is really there, whether the same name is only there or different name is there, whether. So many times why I'm telling this as a point in a session is, many times we identify that the place itself is not there. Okay, they put some vendor, he is selling batteries, from him we have procured so much. We put actually and see, like that one vendor itself is not there. So today, if someone is there without being listed on Google, it's a very, very high risk. Okay, because we are not living in an industry where we can be totally away from technology. Okay. Now, let's say the company which you are searching is not there in Google 360. What you need to do is, you put that area, look for nearby businesses and arrive at that street or location where the address is put in the vendor master, and then check whether that company was there, why closed, whether still active. Like that, we can further do our audit findings. So it is not necessary for us to go to all places for vendor audit. So we can do lot of, let's say, even we do some analytical review procedures, arrive at 50, 60 exceptions or 4, 5 exceptions, do Google Earth review, I would say Google Street View review. This itself will give a lot of confidence as to our observation is right or wrong, whether really this vendor is there or not, like that. So this is a very, very useful functionality which is there in normal Google search. Next is we can do mystery shopping. Basically, let's say there is some apartment they are showing 2 lakhs rent per month. So I can go and mystery shop, or I can put a inquiry in Google itself and see whether what is the rate they are offering, whether that rate is correct, not correct. So that type of evaluation we'll be able to do. Next is social media profiling. So identity management is very, very important. Let's say someone is saying that they are part of this, they are not part of this. We can surely evaluate their profile, social media profile across different platforms. And let's say your company is saying they are having 1,000 employees in 10 locations. Okay. Is it possible for us to do a head count or verification whether really the 1,000 people are there? But if we do a LinkedIn review of that company and review how many employees are tagged this employer as the employer, then we'll have an indicative figure. Okay, that this many employees are there in the company. Okay, this is like third party verification, because employee should come and tag himself as that this person is my employer. So 100% they will not, surely, like 100% of the employees will not be tagged, but at least 70 to 80%, yes, they will be there. So let's say they're telling 1,000, you are getting around 700 to 800 employees in LinkedIn, then sufficient assurance is there that this company is valid. Okay, I had identified in one company, it was a BFSI sector company, where they had given a software contract to one vendor. Okay, that vendor's project value was 3 crores. That software project value was 3 crores. And he had a LinkedIn page, but he had only 2 employees in LinkedIn. So this was a very, very important fraud risk indicator for us. Okay. Then it was some related party transaction, which actually was fraudulently awarded to him, and he had outsourced to some other software company to do that software, and he has delivered. But that contract value, everything, no, it's arrived based on some kickbacks and some shell company which was created for this purpose, but the software delivery was there. But still, this how we were able, it is very difficult, no, for us to evaluate every vendor, whether he is there, to evaluate really whether that person is there, whether it's ghost employer, ghost vendor. So with the social media profiling, now these things have become very easy for us to raise red flags based on few searches across different platforms. And obviously we have our compliance portals, MCA portal, GST portal, and all that, where we can check whether the credentials are right. So here also all these portals, MCA, GST, income tax, or PF, all these portals give something called as a API call. It's called application interface call, where we can write code and create interface for us. Instead of going every time and searching, we can have interface for us where we can type that GST number. It will give all the history of the GST number. So those things are possible, but in public domain also it's possible. You can use it from there. Okay, we can do a shopping visit. That is also a very like mystery shopping. We can go on shopping visits to identify correct prices, etc. We can also collect codes. See, market is open. It's not like auditor should not get code for engineering work and all. Easily take. It is very, very, very evident. We'll find so much fraud. Procurement is my favorite area, because we are ought to find frauds in procurement. Sales also, but mostly sales related fraud will be related party, or may not be, it will be management fraud. Procurement will be employee fraud. So either way, if we do some level of extra evaluation, yes, we will be able to identify some very critical red flags. So next I want to show just a small tool called Cash Free. Cash Free is a payment gateway which allows me something called as a verification suite. Now, let's say I have 10,000 employees. I want to check whether all these employees are having their bank account only. Okay. So there's something called as a verification suite, which is available. I think it logged out. I logged in and kept for us, but since 2 hours, no, it logged out. Okay. So verification suite is there, where actually if you put the bank account number, okay, and the email ID or phone number, PAN number, all the details relating to that, it will validate and give whether this is a valid account or not. Okay. So I have not tested anything recently, but yes, these are possible. Just a minute. Try verifying a bank account. So what we need to do is we have to put the account number, IFSC code, cardholder name, phone number is optional. Once you give verify, it will do a penny drop. It will do 1 rupee penny drop to that account, and it will validate. So this you can do by yourself also. Or let's say you're going to do for all the employers or all the employees or all the vendors, then you can do it from the management side itself, where the company is doing this activity to validate on a yearly basis all the account numbers which I'm having with that name is correct. First, it will throw mismatch if that person is not there. This penny drop will happen only if the account is valid and I have the credentials right. If any of the, say, let's say I have given different name and different account number, then this will not work. So I'll have all the exceptions which are not tallying. So this is also a very useful thing. But if you want to check only one employee, one company, then in UPI in app itself, you can do. In GPay itself, if you put account number and this thing, you'll get part of the name. So in UPI app itself also we can do. So this is also one more area for verification which we can use. So I think all the use cases which I wanted to discuss for today, I have covered considerably. So now we can take if we have any questions.
Ma'am, it was a very wonderful session.
Thank you.
And you made us aware about all the free tools which are available in Microsoft 365, and we weren't aware about it. So I would sincerely like to thank you for making us aware about all the information that you have delivered. And we could see all the efforts that you have put into it, because you were short of time, but you still had a lot of content to share. I would also like to thank the chairman and the vice chairman and the board of internal audit and management accounting to conduct this webinar, and so that VCAs can be educated about all the automated tools which are available. Now I would like to take some questions that have been posted in the group.
Yes.
So the first question has been posted by Akshay Kumar Sambharia. He wants to ask, can AI result in reduction in staff requirement?
Yes, but not immediately. In long term, surely we can reduce staff, but I'll not say it as a threat. I'll say it as an upskilling. So
Right.
yes.
The next question is by Mr. Lokesh. He wants to ask, based on the definition of AI in the slide, do you mean that rule-based analysis are also AI?
Yes, yes. That's what I gave example from watch to calculator, from Excel sheet. Everything is AI. AI is like overarching term. So machine learning is specific, it's statistical, but AI is the entire gamut. It's like audit. See, system audit is also audit, internal audit is also audit, statutory audit is also audit. It's a umbrella. So it covers everything.
Royal wants to ask, will the recordings be made available? Yes, they will be made available on the ICI TV website, and you can view them. They are usually uploaded within 1 day or 2 days, so you can view the recordings from there. Then Mr. Vilunayar wants to ask, if AI an application where I superimpose my data and use the commands to get the desired results? Please explain in detail.
Sorry, can you repeat? What is superimposed?
Is AI an application wherein I superimpose my data and use the commands to get the desired results? Please explain in detail.
Yes, yes. So basically the algorithm is the key. So I will superimpose my data, the algorithm will run and it will give me the output. Yes, that is right.
Okay, Mr. Akshay has asked what impact it will have on the efficiency and overall results. So he has already asked a question before. So it results in staff requirements. So you have already answered that it results in upscaling. So we'll skip this. Ms. Sarita wants to ask, are there any courses to enhance the understanding of AI of internal audit?
Not specifically. It's places where we can look at a specific application. But a lot of tools have a lot of inbuilt features which it can offer. Like IDEA has its inbuilt AI features. PowerPoint has inbuilt AI features. Excel has. So like that we have in silos, but specifically for internal audit, there is, I am not aware of any course that is designed for that.
Mr. Ankit wants to ask that how do we merge ChatGPT with Excel?
There is a add-in which is provided by third-party vendors, which I don't suggest. So, and one more thing is data confidentiality is something which we need to be very, very particular when we are using ChatGPT. So I suggest we should use it separately and not combine with tools. OpenAI is giving interface where you can connect the ChatGPT to their respective application. Excel is a utility, it's a sheet. Okay, but application, let's say you have a core banking system, you have an application, something. So they are giving you that access, but that is also again at own risk only. It's okay for social media platforms, etc. to use, not from a business perspective or not from a audit perspective.
There is a question from my side. Can you share the Excel sheet that you have shown regarding all the scores?
Yes, yes, surely I can share.
It was a wonderful sheet which was prepared, and it will definitely help
Yes.
us or maybe the other CAs as well.
Sure, sure. I will share that.
So there are no other questions. Yeah, we have got some more questions now only. So so these are all related to the recordings. So that's all, ma'am. Thank
Okay.
you so much for this
Thank
wonderful
you,
session.
thank you, everyone. It was very nice.
Thank
having
you, Arun.
here. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Varun sir, for arranging the webinar very smoothly
Thank you,
and the technical aspect. Good. Bye bye.
Bye.